News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290, and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Authorities need your help finding a missing Montana teenager, a missing University of Montana student, and a felony assault suspect from Missoula. Good morning. This is John King, filling in for Peter Christian while he takes some vacation. It's the first day of school for Missoula area seniors, juniors, and sophomores. Hope you're going to have a good day. So happy to not be in your shoes any longer. Your news this hour brought to you by Diggett Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. Call 214-4292 or visit diggettmontana.com. Police in Missoula are searching for a man suspected of assaulting a former Wall Street Journal and Missoulian reporter, likely costing the 70-year-old man the sight in his left eye. Les Capay tells the Missoulian that he was assaulted Sunday in the parking lot of a Walmart where he was staying in his pickup for the night. Capay says as he was leaving the store, he was approached by two intoxicated men, one of whom punched him in the chest. He says a third man then hit him in the eye at least 5 times. Capay's eye surgeon told him his chance of seeing again is only about 5%. The first 2 men were arrested and face misdemeanor charges, but officers have a warrant out to arrest 30-year-old Sean Marceau for felony aggravated assault. The search for missing University of Montana student Lucius Roby is still underway. Darby Marshal Larry Rose spoke with NBC Montana this week about his efforts to monitor street cameras in Darby for Lucius's green Subaru with its 2 distinctive orange kayaks strapped to the top.
It's kind of a choke point, so he has to come through here. If he was driven this way, he would have to come through our video system, and I know we found cars like that before pretty easily.
Searchers believe Roby got lost somewhere between Salmon, Idaho, and Darby. A hint from a trucker has brought Lucius's mother, Tina Gleisner, to wisdom.
A guy saying he saw that vehicle on 43 at around 6:05 near Wisdom. So if a helicopter can fly that, and any of these other areas where a car could have rolled down an embankment or anything of that nature, I'm very happy to see it get off the ground. I've thought every horrible thought a mother can think, and I've also tried not to. I also know my son is an incredible outdoorsman and he can survive.
Roby was supposed to make it to Missoula last week to prepare for classes at the University of Montana, but never made it. Montana Department of Justice officials have issued an Amber Alert for a 14-year-old girl that they believe was kidnapped near Lame Deer. State officials say Mariah Eileen Akeen was in the passenger seat of a pickup truck that had no license plates. It was stopped at around 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Officers were arresting the driver and another passenger. 19-year-old Zachary Whiteman jumped into the driver's seat and left with Akeen still inside. Officials say Whiteman may have driven to the Ashland area. Akeen is described as a 5'4" Native American with black hair and dark eyes, weighing around 146 pounds. Whiteman is 6'4" and weighs 260 pounds. They were last seen in a tan 2000 Ford F-150 pickup truck. As I mentioned before, that pickup truck does not have license plates. The Missoula City County Health Department is asking for the public's help in locating the source of a bad smell that has been occurring randomly in Missoula since the beginning of the year. Department Administrator Ellen Leahy explains what they found so far.
The source of the smell that appears to be rather concentrated area on the west side and the north side. And the other agencies that have been involved, for example, Missoula City Fire, were called in initially and many times because the odor actually smells like the natural gas odor. So also Northwest Energy has been called, and they have been able repeatedly to rule out natural gas.
The smell is reportedly very similar to mercaptan, the pungent but not harmful ingredient added to natural gas so that it can be detected before an explosion. Leahy says the only thing the city knows for sure is that the smell is not caused by natural gas.
In terms of an explosive risk, that's been ruled out. However, that leaves us with not knowing what it is. If we could identify actually the location that the source is coming from, then we could determine perhaps what the substance is. But it's been so ephemeral, we have not been able to do that yet either.
The city would like to hear more from the public about the smell. The health department is taking bad smell reports at 258-4755 or online at the Missoula Health Department website. Don't pick up the phone, hon. A former Montana Army National Guard soldier who fled the country to avoid trial has pleaded guilty to sexual abuse of children and bail jumping. The Independent Record reports that Jeffrey Lane Wenzel entered his plea Tuesday in district court in Helena as part of an agreement that calls for him to be sentenced to 8 years in prison. Sentencing is set for October 23rd. Prosecutors allege that Wenzel enticed a girl under the age of 16 to show him her breasts with the promise that he would buy her a car. He was arrested in Spain when he was turned in by the owner of the bar where he had been working after that owner became suspicious of his ever-changing stories. And a late fire season means some big savings for Montana's Fire Suppression Fund. The state expects to spend about $19 million each year. But Montana State Forester Bob Harrington says we've only barely dipped into the fund so far this year.
Our estimated costs of the state's portion of the fire season to date are about $1.8 million. That contrasts to our 5-year average, which is just under $19 million. So as a result of that, we still have quite a bit of money left in that. The estimate that I have right now is a little over $44 million that will be carried forward and available to us for future fire season.
The $44 million will hopefully help cover the costs if we have an extreme fire season, but the costs can ramp up quickly.
In the last 5 years, 2012 was obviously the most challenging. Record number of acres burned, record number of houses that were lost to wildfire, and one of the highest net cost years that the state of Montana had seen. And that year, I think our gross costs were over $70 million. Our net costs were about $57 million.
When asked how much the DNRC expected to spend on firefighting efforts for the rest of the year, Harrington was hesitant to predict what Mother Nature would do, but said that the state is in, quote, fairly good shape and that the fires to come are likely to not be as big or as challenging. Our first story is out of Yellowstone, a tragic one. Law enforcement at Yellowstone National Park is investigating the death of a woman who worked there. Park officials say 21-year-old Cassandra Cassie Wyfrick was found dead Tuesday night in the Old Faithful Lodge area. Officials started searching for Wyfrick, a park concessions employee from Twin Bridges, Montana, on Tuesday after she missed some shifts at work and failed to meet a family member Monday afternoon. The Park Service did not announce the discovery of her body until Wednesday to allow notification of the family. National Park Service park rangers and special agents are currently investigating the causes of that death. Also, an investigation is underway in Kalispell after a workplace fall took the life of an employee at the Walmart there. Occupational Safety and Health Administration Area Director Jeff Funk says that the employee was standing on a movable staircase when he fell while rearranging merchandise. Here's his report to NBC Montana.
We go out, we open an inspection, we look at the material evidence, we do employee interviews, we perform a fact-finding investigation to determine what happened.
Funk says that OSHA can't release information about the employee, like his name or age or even what part of the store he was working in due to the investigation.
There's a federal law that when an occupational fatality occurs, that the employer must report that to the OSHA office within 8 hours, and they did that. We're going to find out the facts here. We're going to make sure they're true and accurate, and we're going to determine if there's a violation of an OSHA standard.
Funk said that Walmart is being cooperative with the investigation and has followed through the proper policies so far. Investigators are working to piece together what exactly happened and help the store figure out how to prevent it in the future. Attorneys for